Hey guys, this is Vicky from the Agonist, and you're watching Interview Under Fire.
Guys, welcome to Interview Under Fire. I want to welcome Vicky also. Cheers. We're here in Texas and here at the amazing Amplified Live, one of my favorite places to shoot at, doing interviews. Vicky, you just played a crushing set out there. It's actually getting a little chilly out there, guys, so that's also something to note. Texas is usually, it's towards the end of May actually, and it's actually cooling down. But you also mentioned while you were on stage how, and we talked about it with the interview, how this is your favorite venue to play at.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that. You know, it's been 5 years since you were here.
Yeah,
so,
too long.
I mean, after 5 years and still coming back and saying, yeah, this is where I want to be.
Yeah. Well, there's a sense of familiarity right away. It's like I've been here before, and the hospitality is always great. The food is excellent here. Like, I never know what to choose. Everyone's super kind and friendly, as most people from Texas are. And the venue is outdoors, right next to like water and grass and like just good vibes all around. Like, you don't see that, you know?
See, as you're like telling me, you're painting this picture of like, okay, it is a really great venue. It really has everything you want. You know, when I first shot at this venue, gosh, a long time ago, you know, I didn't even think about those things, you know, as I was coming back more and more, which by the way, you're thinking about like the menu. Hopefully you got a chance to see the artist menu after our interview here.
I saw it earlier and I didn't know what to choose, and I still don't know what to choose, but
that's a good thing. So you may have to just like go down the list. Now, you know, I do want to, of course, thank you for taking the time to sit with me today. You know, this is actually, for anyone who doesn't know, the Agonist. I've been listening to this band for as long as you guys have been around. Obviously, the days when Lisa was with the band. But I've been following your career since you first started with them, and I want you to take this moment, take it all in. You know, you just played a show. You're with the Agonist, and you've been, you know, was it 2014 when you joined? When I do these interviews with amazing artists like yourself, right, especially as of late, we knew what happened 2 years ago, obviously with the pandemic and all. Every time I'm sitting here now, I've done maybe 5 or 6 in-person interviews. Since the doors opened back up, right? I've done maybe a ton of them before the pandemic, but it's like every time I'm sitting here, as I'm sitting with you, it's like the first time. It feels like I'm doing it again for the first time because I have a newfound appreciation. Do you feel the same way? Or did you feel the same way out there? I mean, you're nearing, you finished more than half of the tour already. But I know it's a loaded question, but it's like, do you have that sense of newfound appreciation for the live music experience?
I mean, I said it on stage like 5 times tonight too, like, not just tonight, in general, like how grateful we are to be back on the road, and I feel like fans are also really grateful to be seeing shows again, and I'm seeing a more energetic, pumped up crowd because of that, and I hope it lasts, because I've been saying this for years, that like, you don't know how good you have like something until it's gone. And I feel like a lot of people where it's like, it was like a religion to them almost. Like, I'm going to show every weekend, and then, oh shit, I can't go to shows anymore. Yeah, so of course, I wouldn't say it's like a newfound appreciation, but it just intensified. You know?
I think that's an important thing to mention. I mean, obviously before, it's like now, every time we have a conversation, it's like pre-COVID. Pre-COVID. Okay, this is what happened. At that time, I was going at a show, you know, like you said, like every other week, and then once it shut down, you know, I don't know if it was like for you, like once March hit and April and May, I was like, oh, I can actually get to catch up on all the shit that I left behind.
But then...
But here's the thing, though. I know during the pandemic, you stayed busy. That was a very important time for all of us. You stayed busy. You started I'm going to talk about this. This is very important. You started Patreon. You started your own company. I think it was like...
oh, wow, you did your research.
What's the name of the company?
Soundscape Agency?
Exactly, And by the way, check out Soundscape Agency. It's on Instagram. But you also had a Discord where you had fans come in and you kind of just opened up this whole new world for fans who may not have engaged with each other if it wasn't for the pandemic. You know, making the best of the situation sounds cliche, but I feel like you did that
Well, a lot of the things I did were things I wanted to do, and I just didn't have the time before. Because I would be home for, let's say, a month, and then I'd have to hit the road. Like 2019 specifically, I spent 7 months on the road. I was only home for 5 months. Yeah, and sporadically, you know. So when you're like, it's daunting, when you're like, I want to start building this whole new platform, I only have 4 weeks, you're like, I'll do it, you know, next time.
You also did Twitch streaming also.
Yes, religiously. But
that's a good thing.
Yes, a very good thing. But my point is, these weren't like new ideas. It was just as soon as the pandemic started, I was like, I had a feeling it was going to last for a while. I didn't know how long. And I'm like, okay, now's my chance. It's now or never. So I did it.
And you're still doing it, right?
Yeah.
You're still seeing, like, I mean, when you, I don't know, log in on Discord, like in the morning, you're seeing all these, it's like, I did this, you know? I feel like also another thing to note within the last 2 years is like taking it all in, taking a moment to appreciate what you've done, you know, throughout that time. So, so all that's going great. You're still doing all that. It's like I
still am, because it's very fulfilling. It's not just about, you know, your fans are people. They're not, they don't just listen to your music, they connect with you as people, and then when you bring them together, they connect amongst themselves. And that's how you build a community where it's like, I don't even have to be there every single day, and there's conversations happening, and like, even support groups, like someone might come in and be like, I'm having a shitty day, and someone else will help them out. And like it's just amazing that this exists, you know?
Yeah, and I want to transition over into this, because going back into this, you know, we're here at this live music venue. It's just good to do something like this again. By the way, if anyone who hasn't caught Agonist on tour, they have coffee at the merch table. Do me a favor, do us a favor, buy it, because it is amazing. And if you are lucky enough, you will get to meet her husband, who is out there selling the merch, and he will actually give you the quick education on behind, like, which one you should get. I picked the blood brewed coffee because it's not dark roast.
No, it's a medium.
Yeah, it's I like a little bit more kick in my coffee. But anyway, black rod coffee, blood brewed. What was the other one?
Resurrection.
Yeah. When did that become a thing? Like, when did you guys decide coffee? I feel like every band should have a coffee brand. But when did you?
Well, I mean, we're all huge coffee drinkers, but it started with Blackheart, the main guy behind this company. He randomly found me on Instagram and contacted me. And
how long ago was that?
During the pandemic. I want to say 1.5 years ago now.
Was it just out of just random? It's like, hey, I suck. This is what I do. Come join me.
Well,
join the dark side.
Sort of. Not exactly that, but like, he actually saw a clip of one of my Twitch streams. And he saw me doing vocals, and, you know, he really liked what I was doing. So he started watching my Twitch streams, and that's how it started. And he was like, I'll send you some samples, and you tell me if you like it. And, you know, as an artist and, you know, the whole social media, like, influencer thing, phenomenon that's going on.
Of course.
If someone sees, like, oh, you have an X amount of followers, they're like, I want to send you free shit. And I almost always say no, because I know a lot of the things that I'm going to be sent is just going to go to the garbage. I'm never going to use it.
Okay.
But he said coffee, and I love coffee. So I'm like, yeah, send me some stuff.
Check,
Yeah, and I drink my own coffee. Like, that's how good it is. So.
Yeah, and the reason why, I love that you mentioned that, because I feel like people, again, I'm repeating myself, but bands should have their own coffee brand. It's a really great idea.
Yeah.
Metal and coffee, they go together.
Yes.
Now, with this tour, like, I want to segue back into this tour. This is a huge tour, Vicky. Okay. I mean, you have Hypocrisy, Carach Angren, Hideous Divinity, Origin, Wolf King. We've been lucky enough on Interview Under Fire to have a lot of these bands on our publication.
Okay, so the last 2 bands you mentioned, it's just tonight's show.
Just tonight's show.
Yeah, like we've done, like yesterday too, we had 2 tour packages cross each other.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's another thing, because this tour was actually not meant to be combined. They just happened to be.
Yeah.
Did you guys know, like, when this tour first started from day one? It's like, hey,
we knew.
This is what's happening, we're going to do it this way.
Yeah, we knew. I mean, it's always a logistical nightmare. Like, yesterday we played and there were like 9 bands. And but it went really smoothly. Like, everyone had a good positive attitude and we made it happen. But the tour we've been on every single night is Hypocrisy, Carach Angren, us, and Hideous Divinity. So 4 bands. And no, it's incredible. I love every band on this tour.
And here's the thing, I ask a lot of questions about chemistry between members of the band, right? Because I find those kinds of stories really interesting.
Yeah.
And I saw that on stage between the five of you, you know?
Cool.
But in this case, I want to talk about the chemistry between the different bands on this tour.
Yeah.
That's a lot of bands we saw on stage. You know, there's a lot of genre blending and all of this within, you know, from the opener to the closing to, shout out to Hypocrisy, by the way, also. Do you think it takes chemistry to make a tour like this work? And I feel like that's an important question to ask because bands go on tour a lot, but it's like, let's pick and choose how we can put the genres all together. But I feel like that's an important question to ask as well.
Yeah.
And if so, what kind of chemistry do you guys take out on the road? Or is it just 1, 2, 3, 4?
I mean, I think a tour can still function even if, let's say, all bands dislike each other, which that's never happened. But let's say, if it ever happened, I mean, to me, it's never happened. But I think it could still function. But I just think the artist wouldn't be having as much fun while the tour is going on. In this particular case, like, everyone on this tour package is like super nice and friendly, and like I'll catch, you know, members of Hypocrisy right in between, like after we finished our set, Carach Angren's on stage, they're getting ready to go on, and like we're chatting and this and that, and like it's amazing just like to have that human conversation and connection, which when you don't have this on tour, it makes the day-to-day a little more difficult. Because like the show is going to be awesome. You know the show's going to be awesome. You know you're going to meet your fans. That's going to be great. That's a small part of your day. What about the rest of the day? You know, so it's good to get along with the people that you tour with.
What are post-pandemic audiences like? Have you noticed a difference? This is your first tour. Technically in 5 years coming back to Texas. Have you seen a difference, or is it just kind of just picking up like right where they left off 2 years ago?
Like I said, I think the enthusiastic crowds are even more enthusiastic. They're really grateful. Like when I ask, you know, how does it feel to be going back to shows after 2 years again? Everyone's like, oh, feels so good, you know.
And I wonder if there is also a level of overwhelmingness because this is a tour that I mean, from day one to, you know, like I said, you finished more than half this tour. You were in Austin last night. Are you getting a chance to spend time in these cities when you...
Not at all.
You woke up late this morning, I know. No. It's like...
No, I mean, the drive from Austin to here was fine.
If you're driving like grandpa like me, it's like 4 hours, but it's usually 3 hours.
That's fine. But the drive before, we drove from Albuquerque to Austin. That was like a 14-hour drive. And we've had a few of those. And it's funny, like I posted a picture on Instagram, like my hair was like a mane. Like I hadn't washed it in 5 days. And
I did see that.
And people were like commenting like, you do know there's like showers at gas stations, and I'm like, yeah, not when you have to drive 14 hours. There's no time to stop, like. And we've had
unless
a lot
if
of
it's
those.
like I remember. So both of my brothers are drummers, right? They've gone on tour, and sorry about this, guys. But you know when they go on tour, it's like when it's raining outside, just step out, step back in. That's really it, you know. And this is like a tour that's like 10 to 20 days. It's not even like what you guys are doing, like nationwide, you know. It's just from like Tulsa, Oklahoma to like Arkansas to like Missouri, and that's it. But it's just that's it, you know. I feel like if my brothers could, they would live out in the woods. I love you guys, but anyway, don't get mad at me. Now, Vicky, I gotta get to this because this is also an important thing because this is just a recent thing. I want to talk about your Juno Award nomination.
Oh, yeah.
I want to congratulate you on that because,
Thank you.
You know, if anyone doesn't know, that's Canada's most prestigious music award. I feel like the loose term is like the Canadian version of the Grammys.
Yeah, that's
you hear
what
that
they say.
Okay, okay, I want to make sure that that's like, you know. And this is regarding your latest EP that dropped last fall, which was Days Before The World Wept. Great, I mean, follow-up to Orphans, you know, from 2019. Now, and this is in the metal and hard rock album of the year category. This was held just last week, May 15th, in Toronto, Ontario. I'm going to quote you here. You said, "This was a very important release for us that will define us for years to come." Now that it's been, you said that. It's been a couple months since the announcement. Shout out to Natalie from Napalm. She was able to give me all the information when that dropped. Have you had the time to just take it all in now? You know, looking back, I don't know if you look back on things like that, but this is a big step for the Agonist.
Right.
You know?
Right. I mean, throughout the years, I've learned to trust my gut and my instincts on pretty much everything. And when it comes to music, when something feels right, then you know it's right. Like, I'll give you an example. Orphans, our song in Vertigo. It's one of the most popular songs. Yeah. When I wrote the vocals to In Vertigo, demo version at home, you know, I knew my instinct that was going to be one of our best songs. That was going to be on every set going forward. I knew that without even, like, you know, the final production and everything. I just knew. So the same thing with Days Before the World Wept. Even though it's an EP, it's 5 songs. Yeah. I knew the sound and what we're doing on that EP is going to be well received. And, you know, when something's well received and it's also your heart's desire, so to speak, then it only makes sense to continue going down that path. Yeah. So, I don't know, just my instinct telling me that, I guess.
Yeah, I just think that's an important thing to talk about, because a Juno Award nomination, it's like, what was your feeling like when you saw this? Like, oh, that's cool.
I was a little surprised because it was an EP.
Really?
Well, it was an EP.
Yeah, but still, that's still a part of, like, your hard work that you put. You know? And it shows a lot of. I feel like that also shows a lot of dedication to your craft, Vicky. I think that's.
Yeah.
You know? Well, again, I'm just a fan, but it's like I think
no, it's definitely weird. I mean, so we were nominated for Orphans as well. Yeah. And that one, you know, that's
your
a full
nomination.
Second nomination.
Let me remind you, okay?
But the first one, I was like, yeah, okay, we might win, you know, you never know. The EP, I was like, we're not gonna win. Just because I felt, you know, 5 songs versus 9, 10 songs, it's just, I was just happy to be nominated, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't, I don't need to win. It's just an EP nominated amongst full-length albums. That's an honor in itself.
Hey, I think it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've covered, man, I wanted to, before we finish off here, your Soundscape agency, how is that going? I don't know, we just mentioned it, but how has that been going? You just started it, like, not too long
like
ago.
a year and a half ago. That just started as, like, a small idea to kind of incorporate all my different projects, like from the Agonist to solo work to any guest work I do or whatever. Yeah. I wanted one platform to be able to present everything to people and sell merch. Because, like, if you go to a website like Big Cartel or Shopify, you have to make individual pages and each one has fees. Yeah. And for a person that's diverse, that's not like, I just have one band and that's it, that can end up being really costly. So it started as a small idea to just, like, let's put, you know, all just my stuff on there so I can ship out merch from home. But then, you know, my husband and I run this. Yeah. We were contacted by friends and they're like, hey, can you help us out? So then it started growing into this bigger thing where it's like, we're helping smaller artists that, like, they can't do indie merch, you know? Yeah. They don't sell that high volume of merch to be able to do it, and they don't want to do it themselves. So we're like, okay, we'll help you out. We'll get you like 50 shirts and, you know, 100 CDs, and we'll ship them out for you for, like, those really small independent artists.
And we've done a lot of shout outs on this interview so far. What's your husband's name again?
Robbie.
Robbie, shout out to you, man, just for doing what you do. I think you guys have a really good team. I mean, I think that's really awesome. Now, we've covered a good amount of ground on this interview. I want you to hear me out here, Vicky, okay? Because I mentioned how you got your start with the Agonist. People know your story, right? From your upbringings in Chicago to Greece, you know, getting that CD mix in middle school. If I remember, you had multiple interviews talking about that. Where is that mix? Do you have that?
I have no idea. It's somewhere in my old bedroom.
It was the CD mix that you got that got you really into really where you are now, which ended up paving the way to where you are today. You know, fronting a fan favorite like the Agonist, you know? Yeah. Taking over after Lisa left. Not an easy thing to do. You've more than, you know, done your part in, like, making sure the Agonist where you guys are at where you're at. You've dropped, in my opinion, the band's best work since then. Again, that's my opinion. And hopefully I'm speaking for a lot of fans out there. The Juno nomination we talked about. Everything we discussed. What is, Vicky, the most rewarding part for someone like you who is now at this point in their career? At the same time, you've been involved with so many other artists, bands, publications, Twitch streaming, like all that in between. Do you ever just stop for a moment to take a look back at how far you've come? If you haven't, take this moment. I'm just gonna drink here, guys.
Just have a sip of beer.
Let's toast to that, because I think that's an important thing for you.
I think what you're describing probably happens during a show. There's been a few shows where there's like an intense moment during the show where like you just take that all in. Because I think the day-to-day is just always so busy. Like I wake up, I gotta do this, this, and this, and you have like a list of tasks. Whereas when you're playing a show, it's really that moment where you can let loose. When you're in the groove and everything's going fine, because we've had some shows where like maybe there's technical difficulties or whatever, and you can't just relax and take it all in. But we've had a lot of shows on this tour where I just felt like I was on top form and the crowd was amazing and I could just be myself on stage and take that all in. And I mean, I feel like those are the moments that sort of, I guess, the reward for everything you do,
Yeah. I think it's important to, this is coming from someone, I come from a family of musicians, all right? So I play the violin, I play the bass.
Oh, nice.
Both of my brothers are drummers. My mom's a singer, recording artist from back home. My sister plays the viola, but the point I'm trying to make is you get, higher on, for your successes, the more you put in your work, right? I think it's also important to kind of like just push everything back and take a look at it from the outside and kind of just re-examine yourself, why you do what you do, and then go back into it with a refocused moment. I feel like, because with this tour, it's just like back to back to back. I don't know if you had a moment to really think about that, because obviously with the last 2 years, it's like a lot of people have shown their true colors, and unfortunately, for mine, I'm sure you've seen the same thing, but it's like, you really, again, goes back to my first point, you really feel grateful about where you're at. I'm grateful that I had the chance to speak with you, You've been a bucket list artist for me, so I might as well close up shop after this, guys. But that's the point I'm trying to make. So, but yeah, that was just, we should probably just chug this. Now, this is the last part of the interview. Now, I got a little surprise for you. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna do something here. I do this with all my guests.
Oh,
all right?
Okay. Like a speed? No.
Oh, you already know what's coming?
I just guessed.
You already know what's coming. We're gonna do something called the lightning round. Okay. I'm gonna go down the list. You just have to think quick on your feet, all right? Pick one or the other. You can do it. You can
one
do it.
or the other. That's easy. Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
You're gonna be fine. Trust me. All right. Some of these are simple. Some of you are just downright stupid. That's
okay.
All right.
That's my favorite. Let's do this.
What's the capital of Texas?
Dallas? I don't know.
We're gonna end it right there. She just played the city last night. It's Austin. It's
I was between the two.
All right, that was a test question. But
no, that's not making the interview.
All right, red or blue?
Red.
Vegan or meat?
Meat.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings? Yeah, you have to choose.
Game of Thrones before it started sucking.
I knew you were going to answer that. Okay. Yes. You know what? Okay, I'm not going to go into that. That's a whole different interview. All right. Now, we're in Texas. I think this is an important question because this is a debate that I hear a lot.
Yeah.
Trust me. Is it pecan pie or pecan pie?
Oh, it depends where you're from.
Great answer. Great answer.
I think in Chicago they say pecan. They say pecan in Chicago.
By the way, Chicago is one of my favorite places I've ever. I love visiting that city. I went there last summer. I love that city.
I say pecan personally, but I think in Chicago they say pecan.
I think if you're in the I hear that if you're from the Northeast, like the Boston. Boston. New York.
Yeah.
It's more like pecan. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong answer. That's just the fun part. All right. Greek food or Italian food?
Greek food.
Man, you didn't even hesitate. Country or hip hop?
Hip hop.
Halloween or Christmas?
Halloween.
Yes, thank you. Okay, LA or New York?
Oh, both suck.
What?
Yes, I could live in neither of those cities. I'm sorry. Everyone's mad in New York and everyone's a hypocrite in LA. I'm sorry.
That's an answer. That's okay. That works. All right. These get ridiculous. Are tomatoes a fruit or a vegetable?
A vegetable.
All right. Now, I mentioned you're a Twitch streamer. If you were to
Yes.
spend one day in the world of the last video game you played, where would you be and would you survive?
Okay, so the last one I played was Guardians of the Galaxy. With the alien world, right?
Okay,
So
yeah.
I would survive.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be
Mine
one of the
is
aliens.
Elden Ring, and I
Yeah.
would not survive. I would be dead and dead again.
Isn't everyone
again.
dying in that game?
Yeah, it really consumed my life, so I really had to just like lock it away and just cannot pick it up. If I pick it up, I will not stop playing it.
Yeah.
So Elden Ring. All right, who would you pick to play yourself in a movie? He's getting
Oh, I see. This isn't this
I feel
or
like
that,
you got the
so-
answer, but it's like you're debating if you should say it or not.
No, Sandra Bullock. But she's a lot older than me. See, this is why.
That can still work.
Yeah, maybe future me. Because I was thinking of a lot of great actresses that I like, but they're all a lot older than me. So, Sandra in the '90s.
Thinking of who would be mine. I was thinking Adrian Brody.
Oh yeah, that's a good fit. Yeah.
He should grow out his hair more. All right. Would you rather be able to move things with your mind or know the future?
Ooh, move things with my mind. I don't want to know the future.
If Voldemort, this is ridiculous. If Voldemort offered to give you a hug, would you accept?
No.
You can change Tom Riddle's life with a hug. You
I
never
don't-
know.
I
Well,
don't-
maybe Tom Riddle. Maybe.
Yeah. No. That would never happen. But
you'd be surprised at how many different kinds of answers I get with that. All right. Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to talk to animals?
be able to talk to animals.
Okay. I've had artists who tell me, yeah, I can talk to my dogs. And
I
then
mean, yeah, I talk to
yeah.
them with my eyes, but I'd actually like to know what my husky is
That's my
saying.
dog, by the way, so.
Oh,
That's Rocket, anyway.
Yeah, I'd actually like to know what my husky's saying when he comes up to me and he's like, "Rrr, rrr, rrr,"
You have a husky?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So that was
very
that's
vocal.
So that's an Australian cattle dog. It was between that or a husky.
No.
All right, last one. I love this one. There's a time machine in front of you, Vicky.
Oh.
It says the destination is the first concert you've ever attended. Where are you, and what do you remember the most about that day?
Okay, my first concert was it was a festival, and the headliner was Marilyn Manson, Direct Support, Garbage,
Wow.
and a few other bands. Yeah, that was a good one.
That's a...
Yeah, it was
How
in
long?
Greece, I think 2003 or 4, I can't remember. I was like 16.
Yeah. I don't know if you're like a sentimental person like me. Do you have like the ticket? Do you have photos from that day?
I do have it. Yeah. I have like a little like shoe box, like a Converse box with all like my ticket stubs
Awesome.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first concert.
Would you travel back to that and be like,
I would.
visit your younger self?
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Yeah.
you're awesome.
Yeah. Well, like I've said this in the past that because people are like, oh, what happens when you die? And like some people believe in reincarnation, right? So I'm like, if I could, if that's a thing, I would just come back and live the exact same life I lived.